Hello, my name is Kumar Rahul and I'm a PhD student in IIT Jodhpur. I work under Dr. Anil Kumar Tiwari and I have submitted my thesis in May 2019. Today I will talk about my PhD work and the presentation is going to be the following. I'll talk about camera and screen content images, the challenges in the compression methods, then specific compression algorithms, quality assessment, and then I will conclude my presentation. So, why compression and what is how image and video work? So, if you see a true color image, it's usually a 24-bit per pixel. So, a usual image of 1024 by 1024 resolution will have at least 3 megabytes of data. Similarly, for video sequence, if we have the same resolution, for per second we need 90 megabyte of data, and for a minute of video we need more than 5 gigabyte of data, which is very huge. And that is why compression is required. According to the survey by White Paper, in 2019, the global IP will reach 2 billion gigabytes per month, where more than 80% of the global traffic is images and video. Signal specific compression algorithms for camera content images and screen content images are very important and very necessary right now. The naturalness of the SCI, so the naturalness property in the screen content images are less than camera content images. That is why these two images are treated differently. So what is naturalness? You can see the image here. The left side, the two images are camera content images, and the right side, the images are screen content images. You can see the distribution of these images. The distribution is Gaussian in the left side, but it has a spike on the right side. This shows the naturalness property is not present in the screen content images. So hence, there is some other treatment required for screen content images. Application area. So for screen content images, we have huge number of application area, like remote computer screen when you code for on your lab computer or somewhere else. Then presentation over video conferencing, which is very much important in IT companies and anywhere in the world. Then virtual sharing of a screen on smartphones and computers. Remote education, multi-client communication system, mobile gaming, such as there are so many application areas. So I will tell you brief about how JPEG algorithm work. So it takes an image, converts into DCT, do the quantization, have a zigzag scanning, do the run length encoding and differential pulse code modulation, do the entropy coding, and creates a final data, compressed data with header and tables. Now the challenge with JPEG is it treats all area of picture similarly. It means when you need more compression in certain area and needs less compression in certain area, it cannot provide that. So what happens is when there is a high compression requirement or low bandwidth, the quality of the reconstructed image gets very low. I will show you an example. This is left side is the original image and right side is the image compressed by JPEG at Q equals to 1. So for when we increase the Q means increasing the compression ratio or decrease the size of the image, you can see the distortion. The distortion is available at every corner of the image. This is the major problem in JPEG. Similarly, with screen content images, this problem increases further because of the property of JPEG. So specific compression algorithms is much required. For camera content images, our brain construct a low level memory map, and so that similarly for screen content images we construct a binary silency map in our brain. So in the JPEG it is not possible, so we have extended the JPEG compression algorithm in two possible ways. First, for camera content images with multi-level silency, and with screen content image with two-level silency. The second work for screen content image has already been published in the patent, which has been shown below. So proposed compression work for camera content image work as follows. It takes the number of region first, identifies how many number of region it need to be divided. Then it identifies the saliency on those region and rank those saliency, and then decompose the image into 8 by 8 DCT. So these things are similar to JPEG. Only difference is at the block ranking, it checks the saliency ranking of that region and ranks accordingly. And it does the encoding after that. And then we further apply delta encoding to decrease the redundant, the overhead information. And finally, we pass the information of compressed data and rank. So you can see the performance of the JPEG of our compression algorithm. Left side is the original image, which is having high variance. High side and the right side is the same image. So you can see both images are compressed at 25.6 kilobytes. Can you see any difference? I will tell you. So the left side is the JPEG compressed image, and the right side is the proposed compression method. So you can see the distortions are very less at the important regions in the image. If you can't find much difference, I'll show you another image where you can see the more number of difference in the image. So left side is the Lena image at 15 kilobytes of information, with the proposed one with 15 kilobytes again. So you can see the distortion on the face area on here in this area are very low in the proposed method. So what we did, we retained those information in our method. We retained those information using the saliency map. So the camera content image, you can see if we zoom in the particular area, you can see the differences. This is the original area, this one is JPEG, and this one is our reconstructed proposed method. So you can see the distortion is very less at the same compression ratio. Now this is the rate distortion curve. You can see the rate distortion curve shows that our proposed method works very well on the high, like the area R1 means very silent regions. So on the silent region, the method works very fine. So these are the performance evaluation on the PSNR and bits per pixel. And now for the screen content image, what we did two-level saliency mapping. Due to the patent work, we are not able to show you the mathematics, and due to the time constraint. But the main thing is, instead of multi-level saliency, we used two-level saliency, where we gave more importance to the textual information, the text part. We gave the text part more higher priority and non-text part lower priority. With that, we got a compressed image. So you can see the difference here. There are three screen content images. So how it does, this is the saliency map. So you can see all the white areas are more important and black areas are less important. Similarly for these three. Now this method is compared with HEVC and JPEG at the same compression ratio at 0.8 bits per pixel. You can see in our proposed method you are able to read the characters very well. I have zoomed in the characters here. So compared to other method, it is very well understood at the proposed method. Now the same rate distortion curve you can see for region 1 means the higher priority area. Our reconstruction is very good and the PSNR shows that. Now comes to quality assessment. So we thought to check the quality of compression, we need a good quality assessment also. As screen content and camera content quality assessment method which are available are not that good right now. So we try to which are not good, like in sense of compression distortion. What we try to do is we try to achieve a good performance of quality assessment at compression. So what our aim was to automatically predict a very good compression quality assessment for compression method. So there are three kind of classification in quality assessment: full reference, no reference, reduced reference. And this is the normal channel how it works, quality assessment. And so for our method, we used SIFT for camera content images to get the feature metric, and we use the difference normalization, And then using the normalized descriptor from Swift and the scale normalized, we created an inner product sum, and from there we first created CSQA, which is our camera and screen content quality assessment. So this is the method to prune the feature vector. So you can see in the distorted image that we are taking very less features, so that to compare the features from the reference and distorted image, the size is very low. So the speed of the performance improved due to that. So this is the whole architecture of our method, and this is the result. You can see the result. Yeah, so you can see the result. We achieved a very good performance on SICAD QACS dataset, which are for screen content images. We could equally well in performance on live and TID dataset, which are for camera content images. Now, computation cost reduction. From the traditional feature-based method, we achieved less computation with lower number of comparison, and you can see almost we were able to save 98% computation cost. This is the diagram which shows the how much value difference we have in our quality index. In the traditional methods, in JPEG, you can see from 0.1 to 1 we can achieve, where these methods SSIM, PSNR, their range is very less. We also proposed a separate quality assessment method for screen content images, and these are the results which performed very well for screen content images for compression distortion, and you can see the results here. These results are of different quality assessment methods, which are state of the art: RWQMS, RIQMS, FTB. The references are available at the end, and this is the FQI, which is our method. You can see the fitting, linear fitting is very good, and we achieved very well performance on this. Similarly, for distortion wise performance also on different data sets we have checked, which was good. Now back to our compression method. So when we established that our quality assessment method was working at par with other state of our method on different distortion, and especially on compression distortion, it was working very fine. We found out for our compression algorithm, the proposed one, we have better quality assessment. You can see here, for each and every bits per pixel, for each and every compression ratio, we have achieved better performance. It means we have reconstructed the image very well. So conclusion. So mostly my work was on camera and screen content image compression and its quality assessment. The proposed compression models perform superior than the state-of-the-art method, as we have discussed. The patent pending for ongoing end-to-end compression methods, so which has been filed and now awaited for the publication. The proposed IQA performed exceptional on distortion caused by compression, especially. And in the future, we are planning to work on hyperspectral images and 3D synthesized images, where we can do the compression and quality assessment. Thank you.